Read this as if it applies to you, because in the late 17th century, France proved something that never stopped being useful, that a human being can be erased without being killed, not violently, not secretly, procedurally. A man was taken by the state and stripped of everything that makes a person real. No arrest record, no charge, no trial. Even his face was classified. He was kept alive for years, not because he deserved mercy, but because death would have been too visible. His clothes were burned after use. His cell was searched obsessively. Guards were ordered to kill him instantly if he ever spoke his name. And when he finally died, he was buried under a name that wasn't his. History would later call him the Man in the Iron Mask. That name is convenient because it keeps you staring at the mask, instead of asking why it was necessary, because the real mystery isn't who he was. The real mystery is this: what kind of truth forces a government to keep a man alive solely to make sure he can never speak? Welcome to the lost past, where history isn't forgotten, it's contained, and containment is never accidental. A prisoner who should not have existed. The first official trace of the masked prisoner appears in 1669. No biography, no accusation, no paperwork, just an order. He was placed under the personal custody of Benigne d'Auvergne de Saint-Mars, a man trusted not with criminals, but with state-level secrets. Saint-Mars didn't guard thieves. He didn't supervise rebels. He handled people the crown wanted erased without noise. From the moment the prisoner arrived, normal rules collapsed. He wasn't shackled, he wasn't beaten, he wasn't starved, he was fed well, dressed carefully, spoken to politely, because torture leaves marks, and marks raise questions. Yet despite this careful treatment, he was never allowed to be seen. Whenever he left his cell, his face was covered. If guards stood too close, they were warned away. And the order from Paris was absolute. If the prisoner attempts to reveal his identity, kill him immediately. No verification, no clarification, no room for error. This wasn't justice. This was risk management. The mask was not the cage. Despite the legend, the mask was likely not iron. Most accounts describe black velvet, reinforced so it couldn't be removed. But the material doesn't matter, because the mask wasn't meant to restrain the man. It was meant to restrain recognition. Once a face is recognized, history starts connecting dots. The mask ensured that even if the man escaped, no one could ever say, "I know who that is." And that should bother you, because it means the danger wasn't what he did. It wasn't what he said. It was what his existence would confirm. Moved like a contaminant. The prisoner followed Saint-Mars across France like classified cargo. Pignerol, Exil, Sainte Marguerite. Finally, the Bastille. Every transfer was silent. No charges filed. No destinations explained. Other prisoners noticed the rules. They weren't allowed to speak to him. They weren't allowed to look at him. They weren't allowed to speculate. One inmate later claimed the masked man dropped a silver plate with writing scratched into it. It was confiscated immediately. The prisoner was punished. The writing was never recorded, not summarized, not copied, not archived. Destroyed. Which means one of two things. Either it meant nothing, or it meant so much that even acknowledging it was considered unsafe. Why he couldn't be executed? Louis XIV did not hesitate to kill. He executed nobles. He crushed revolts. He destroyed enemies publicly. So ask yourself, why not this man? Why feed him? Why guard him? Why move him carefully for decades? Because execution creates witnesses. Imprisonment creates silence. Killing him would end the secret. Keeping him alive ensured the secret stayed supervised, monitored, contained. This man was not a prisoner. He was evidence storage. And evidence is useless if it's visible. The twin brother story and why it won't die. The most famous theory claims the prisoner was Louis XIV's twin, a second son hidden to prevent a succession crisis, a brother locked away so a king could remain singular. It's dramatic. It's cinematic. It's almost certainly false. No medical records support it. No credible witnesses confirm it. And yet the theory survives. Because it feels true. Because it captures something essential. This secret threatened legitimacy itself. And legitimacy is the one thing absolute power cannot invent. Information does not bleed. Another theory suggests the prisoner was a nobleman who knew too much, proof of royal illegitimacy, evidence of crimes committed by the crown, treaties that could collapse alliances. In this version, the man wasn't powerful by blood, but by information, and information doesn't bleed when you stab it. Killing the messenger doesn't erase the message, unless you make sure no one ever hears it. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. The most likely answer and the most uncomfortable. The strongest historical candidate is Eustache Dagger, a valet, a servant, a man invisible enough to hear everything. Servants hear what kings assume is private, and unlike nobles, servants leave no legacy. If Dagger overheard something catastrophic, killing him would raise suspicion. But hiding him removes the problem quietly, and silence is what power prefers most. The Bastille was not a prison. The prisoner arrived at the Bastille in 1698, still masked, still nameless, still dangerous. 5 years later, in 1703, he died. His burial was rushed. His name was false. His belongings were destroyed. Even his cell walls were scraped clean. This wasn't closure. This was sanitization. What this story is actually about. Most prisoners leave records. This one left a procedure. He proves that power fears one thing more than rebellion: uncontrolled truth. The man in the iron mask isn't mysterious because we lack information. He's mysterious because information was systematically eliminated, and systems that work are never abandoned. They are refined. The line history never crosses. Here is the truth textbooks never say out loud. It doesn't matter who he was, because the system succeeded. The mask outlived the man, and that means the state learned something permanent, that a human being can be erased so completely that centuries later, we argue instead of know. That is not a failure. That is proof of concept. This did not end, it evolved. The man in the iron mask was not a legend. He was a test of how thoroughly a person can be erased without ever being executed. And the most disturbing part? The test worked, which means this story didn't end in 1703. It only became quieter, more efficient, more procedural. This is the lost past, where history doesn't disappear, it's buried alive. And if this worked once, there is no reason to believe it was never used again.